Rich Dad Cashflow game. How to play the Cashflow game. Thanksgiving of 2016, I recorded a video playing this game. I happened to be the janitor character and I got out in 6 minutes. Let's see how well I can do in 2022. The first thing that you want to do is you want to go to richdad.com. Create yourself an account. Once you have the account created, look around for this link to play the game. You can download that if you want. Click anywhere. Create a room. I'm going to use the name Iea because I live in the city of Iea. As I mentioned, Thanksgiving of 2016, when I played this, I recorded it. I was a janitor. And the one thing that's interesting about being the janitor is your monthly expenses are really low. And that was one thing that allowed me to get out of the rat race in around 6 minutes. And what does that mean, getting out of the rat race? Well, that means getting this passive income higher than this monthly expenses. But with this particular game, I'm going to be the lawyer. And the janitor has a really low monthly expenses. The lawyer has a really high monthly expenses. So we'll see how well I can do. If you're interested in seeing that video from 2016, there's going to be a link popping up somewhere on the top right now. So you can click that link, watch that video, come back and watch the rest of this one. Let's see how many minutes it's going to take me to get out. How do we get out, and what's the purpose of getting out? Well, in order to get out of the rat race, which is this circle here, the rat race, you have to have your passive income higher than your monthly expenses, and we achieve that by purchasing cash flowing assets. In the process of purchasing cash flowing assets, we might buy some assets that do capital gains. What's the difference between capital gains and cash flow? The difference is going to be that cash flowing assets are going to pay you on a reoccurring basis. Generally, it's monthly. However, sometimes it could be annually. It could be quarterly. It kind of doesn't matter, but they're going to pay you on a reoccurring basis. A capital gains asset is going to pay you one time. And it's generally, you're going to buy it, and then when you sell it, that's it. No reoccurring payment. So we're going to do a combination of both of those. What you're looking at here is a financial statement. You could say, income, assets, liabilities, also kind of known as a balance sheet. But you got your income, your assets, your income, expenses, your assets, and your liabilities. So every person or entity, a business, a school, a government, or whatever, everyone has one of these. You might not know that you have one. You might not be keeping track of it, but everybody has one. Everyone could calculate it. And this is one of the big things that the game teaches you, is how to read a financial statement, how to make your own financial statement and work with this. As the creator of this game, Robert Kiyosaki, says, how do you win if you're not keeping score? How do you win in the game of money if you're not keeping score? Well, with your financial statement, that's where you keep score. So let's get into playing the game. The first thing I have to do, besides picking a character, which was picked for me, is I'm going to choose a dream out here on this fast track. So I'm going with stock market for the kids. Actually, in that game, Thanksgiving of 2016, I went with Gift of Faith. So I'm going with Gift of Faith again. All right, rolled, and that is the payday, or type of where I'm gonna get this payday. Right? It's like you're getting a paycheck. So now this is how much I get paid after my expenses. Right? Total income minus expenses, which is gonna be reflected here, equals this. This is how much my net, and this is how much cash I have on hand. These green things here, these are opportunity squares. These are doodads, so they're going to be any type of just miscellaneous type of expenses. And this is a market card. It can be a variety of things. It could be relating to different opportunities that are there. I think that's generally what happens. So this one is a baby, have children. You can have 3 children in this game. Again, the yellow are the paydays. This is downsized, where you're going to miss 3 turns and you're going to have to pay 1 month's expenses. If you don't have that, you're borrowing money. In this game, you can borrow, for every $1,000 you borrow, you pay $100. It's a 10% fee across the board. This is charity. You land on this, you can donate to charity, then you get to roll your choice of 1 or 2. Was it 1 or 2 dice? I think 1 or 2 dice for 3 turns. We'll see if we land on it. Okay, so that's the basics of these different things you can land on in the rat race. And let's just keep going. Right away, starting with babies. So I guess what happened is, I became a lawyer, got a little bit of cash flow, whining and dining some ladies and having babies. All right, so not only am I going to turn the volume down a little bit, deal opportunities for a small deal or a big deal. Small deals are less than 5,000. Big deals are 6,000 or more. But what about between 5,000 and 6,000? I don't know. If you can figure that one out, let me know. Because I only have $2,000 of cash on hand, it would make sense to me to go with some small deals. So I'm going to go with some small deals until I have more cash on hand. All right. Stock. What I tend to do is buy stock at $10 or less. In this game, you'll see it at 10, 5, 1, and up. To me, it seems good to buy it at $10 or less. And then as the game wears on, I'll start doing less of 10, then I'll eliminate 10, and at some time I'm going to eliminate 5, maybe eliminate 1, and I might just eliminate stock, because what ends up happening is stock in this game doesn't pay you a dividend. So there's no way the stock can cash flow, unlike in the real world. So what happens is when I end up buying assets that do produce cash flow, they can also be sold for a capital gain. This can only be sold for a capital gain. So in the beginning, I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to go with, I personally like to start off in increments of 1,000. So like spend $1,000, so I keep some money on hand too. So I'll go with start out with a little bit over 1,000. So I buy that. Right, I still got a little less than $2,000 on hand, and one reason why I want to do that, see what my monthly expenses are. I'm pretty close to this. This is a simulated game. You're working with some kind of computer system here, so it seems like it likes to land you right there, which seems to happen a little more than when you're playing the game on tabletop and just rolling the dice. And because I have less than that amount, I'm going to have to borrow the money if I land there. So I want to borrow as little money as possible, but also have some stock. The other thing I want to do is I want to keep some money on hand for other opportunities. And maybe I hit, like here again, get a small deal. Okay, I got almost a little less than 4,000. Maybe I get this one I'm not going to do. I just don't do certificates of deposit in this particular game. But if it was something like a $2,000 down payment for a house, then I would have the money to do that. Past that, that's great. Okay, this was a market card, right? Right here, market card. And on these opportunity cards, sometimes you can buy a condo. As I was mentioning, later on, when you start getting these cash flowing assets, sooner or later, you can sell them for a capital gain also, and which would make me kind of start limiting the assets that just do capital gain. But I don't have that, so I'll keep rolling. Sticking with these small deals. Perfect, right? $2,000 down. I get cash flow of $220 a month, and the cost is $35,000. There's going to be a mortgage to finance the difference between 35 minus $2,000, there's going to be a mortgage. So let's buy this. We're going to see this change, right? We see this drop down. That's $2,000 less. Now under the mortgage part, under liabilities, we got the house with the liability. Here's the mortgage, right? The cost is over here. Here's the asset, $35,000 minus the $2,000 down payment, $33,000. And then up here, in the income part, we see the asset here with that correlating income here. And we don't see it here though. Even though there are expenses to it, we don't see it for whatever reason. Maybe it's because net everything it's positive. I don't know, that's how it's set up, but you know, I guess technically we would have something here to balance everything out. And then we see passive income is now at 220, and that goes up a little bit. So that is the way the financial statement works when you purchase something. In that game that I played before, Thanksgiving of 2016, I had one thing that I did is I worked on paying off my credit card right away. And you notice in this game, I'm not worried about it. And the reason why is that in that game, I was only making like less than $1,000 per payday. So I wanted to free up as much cash as possible. If I have a lot of cash on hand, I'm not gonna worry about that so much at the beginning. I'm gonna still stick with the small deals. All right, stock at $30. All right, I don't own it, and I'm not gonna buy it. It's over 10 bucks. I'm just gonna pass. Still sticking with those small deals. Great, right? I got a condo. I'm gonna buy it. 5,000. Right now, as I start getting more of these, I'm gonna start becoming more selective on the stock. When exactly, I'm not sure, but it's something that I'm keeping in mind. Now, there's other opportunity cards that you can get that don't instantly produce cash flow, or they are specific, or they are only a capital gains type of card. I may or may not take one of those. It kind of depends on how things are playing out. But there's a big gap here, so maybe that's going to be a while before I do that. Sticking with the small deals still. I don't have enough to cover that. I could borrow money, right? I could. This will show us what happens. I would have to take out a loan of $4,000 to add to this $1,000 to cover the down payment. If I were to do that though, I have a $400 payment and I'm only making 160 bucks. It's true, I could kind of subsidize that here, but I don't want to do that right now. Maybe at some other time. I think I can get something better. Now, I landed on this market card, right? And it happens to be, we got this whole house buyer that offered $135,000 for a rental house. Buyer has financing, la-da-da-da. I have that. I paid $35. They're offering me $135, so it looks like I can make around $100,000. So I'll sell it. Now that I have $100,000, I'm going to go for the big deals. Sometimes what happens is when I get a big lump sum of money like this, I get out of the rat race relatively quickly. We'll see if that is going to play out this way. Well, that's a good start. 20,000, right? I'm going to buy automated business, video pinball machines. The cost is 100,000, but I'm going to take out a loan, right? My down pay is 20,000. So my mortgage is going to be 80, which is going to show up here. Assets going to show up here. It's also going to show up here in the income, and get a $1,600 of income from that. Let's take a look. Right, arcade 80,000. Arcade cost under assets 100,000. The liability for it, the mortgage or loan, is 80,000, and we see it showing up right here. And that put a pretty big dent there, but we still got more to go. But we got $85,000 there. It's still doing pretty good. Keep sticking with those big deals. This is going to take a big down payment. That's going to take a big chunk here, and it's really not giving us much, but we're going to do it anyways. So what did that do? Drop this down significantly. There's no related liability for it, right? Just purchased it in cash. And then we got it right here, mall. Oh, I guess it's 800, not 500. I thought it was 500. Whatever. Let's keep playing. All right, let's stick with the big deals still. Great, this is wonderful. All right, same thing. There's going to be no liability for it. It's going to show up here under the asset. It's going to show up here, and we're moving. We're moving on up. All right, 14,000. Now, me personally, even though the big deals start at 6,000, a lot of times I find that having less than 20,000, I kind of get priced out of the big deals, right? We just saw the last 2 or 3 that I had. 20,000 down payment, 50,000. What was that one? I forgot what that one was. 30,000, right? Significantly higher than 14. So usually, unless I have like 20,000 cash on hand, I'll go with the small deals because look, you know, I was able to get these condos and get these other things that can produce monthly income for like you know, 2,000 down or 3,000 or something like that. Now, at this point, I'm probably not going to be buying much stock. It would have to be like $1 stock, and I don't even know if I would do it because I'm pretty much I'm loaded up here on things that I could sell. Right? As an example, I sold that 3-2 house and got $100,000. So I start becoming a little more selective. Woo! Right on that fine line. Let's go for it. Okay, here is a good example. Right? 20,000, no cash flow. If I was like closer to here, maybe I would do that. But I'm making $6,000 a payday, so I'm going to be around 30,000 pretty quickly. Remember those other deals that I got? 40,000, 30,000, got 1,600. I'm passing on this. I would take this closer to the beginning of the game, but being that I'm closer to getting out of the rat race, I'm going to pass on that. We'll go for it. One reason, because a lot of times there'll be market cards to sell this, and you know it's 400. It's a little more money, and it just gives me something else to be able to sell, which keeps me away from buying stuff that doesn't produce income. And what's my only at 8,000? Ooh, got hit with that downsize, right there. So what's going to happen is I'm going to pay the 5,410 for my monthly expenses. My cash is getting drained, but I didn't have to borrow any money, no loans taken out to pay that, and I'll just skip those turns, be back on my merry way, back into small deals. Okay, stock split. This can happen in the stock market, right? You can have bad things happen where you basically lose money. Stock splits, stock crashes, Enron going belly up, whatever the case might be. In this case, it's not a stock that I own, so I don't have to worry about it. But I do have to worry about that. Got to pay that doodad, right? That's the one right here. It's doodad's going to pay that. Keep rolling. Got some more money in my pocket. Stick with a small deal just for a moment. Passing on that. See what we get on the big deals. Okay. Pretty close to getting out of the rat race. Pretty close. Small deal. It was something. Okay. This is interesting, right? So I have to borrow $1,000. 2,000. To borrow 2,000 to come up with the money for the down payment. It gives 2,200 cash flow. It's $200 to service the loan, but I make enough money that I could probably quickly pay off that that loan. And that might potentially get me out of the rat race or get me super, super close. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. All right, same thing. Got the house here. Shows the house here. Shows it here. But we also got a loan here for it. So it's basically negating that. And let's see how we can do this. All right, small deal. Ooh, look at that, great, 40 bucks. So we're gonna sell all this, right? We're gonna repay that $2,000 loan. Boom, out of the rat race. I'm not gonna take the time to play the rest of the game because I'm at 20 minutes already. And you know, 2016, a janitor was out of the rat race in 6 minutes. 2022, the lawyer took 21 minutes or so to get out of the rat race. Granted, there was a lot of yapping and explaining stuff. Watch that other video, and I'm going to link to some other stuff at the end of this video. Let me know if you like it, and check out some of those things. You guys have a great night. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.